chapter yokuba mna bendikhangelana nokumoshana nolehasa yaqitha sondlala ngawo ndikuthanda wena
manje umfunani wena sofuna ukhwezi manje
ukhwezi zange umthande zisuka and kudala nohlukana so intoni mani ingxaki yakho
mogone nolai a ka ba amegile tabeng ya mothomtšhano le bona bekeng ya go feta ga se sedimošo e kalo yeo re e utolotšego ka mogone nolai yo eupša re tla tiišetša gore ke motho wa monna wa go ba le dreadlocks
o tie magata mtshwerenno ka mela ba tshwanana ke ga tšhisa bao fela no and a se bo gata fela le syndicate ya mokopane ntse ga batla ka dodge
o nyaka eng ka mo wena
ga gona mo ke nyaka go bolela le rangwana
ga nyake go kwa selo ka wena a re itswa ka mo man
ga gona mo ke yena
go dirang ka mo
doctor ke gopola gore botse ngwannyane gore a tswe ka mo e tswa ka mo wena man
for the past 14 years rangwana a tshwana le bopapa gone le nyaka go mpotsa gore ga ke na right ya go mmona
o latlhagetse ke tokelo yo a ke tsebe motlhagona maragarageng a gawa papa ke nna papa
rangwane
papa wa bona gore o diile wena
a ka se foltse yaka ke lena le tlhabile masata
kolotho ao papa mentši ramane papa mentši ke go gopela ke papa sa baphelo ba gabotse
Mapitse, what the hell were you doing kwa Cape Seasonal Rat?
ao ke be ke kopane le fetse a ke re bane o rile ga o nyake banna ka mo
So wa nagana gore it's better gore o kopane le di-side piece tša gago kwa di-restauranteng o tshwere rati.
fentse okay tibos
Oh, wow. Okay. Mohlomongwe he was your cover. I get fence knew about when I Thomas. You know, I once found Thomas half naked because you don't fence. What's that? Yeah. Kakinata lo dirang. If I leave rati or pizzi out of it.
ke ka lebaka la eng nka ya kwa Cape City ke tseba gore Thomas le mosadi wa gagwe tla ba le gone kwa why would I do that
Sad. Mohlomongwe you wanted to make sure. Gore Thomas o tlogetse. Go tseba mang?
nka se tlogele go ba mogwera wa fence okay we kwishishe nto fence ke mogwera wa ka a le no shogong jwaje so he's not going anywhere
well o reng o sa mpotsa gore o na le Jimmy
aibo wena o tseba go gym because ke a tseba gore you only go there for content.
well you know me too well my darling gra gore my vlog is going to be on fire get the gym in the morning get Fiscal Level Cafe get a crazy beauty
Whoa. Crazy beauty o tla bonya ka mo
well go ja dinepe ja like some products that are going to be activated in malls this weekend.
Well, I hope she pays you well.
Oh no, she always does. Get a crazy or other content. Jaga got la oro khono for la vacation in Monaka.
Vacation? Sola pele semana.
Anu, ga cell phone oro bona azu.
Ilor vacation ya ha ina nalma. Ngosi. Damn it, man. I see I'm sorry when I get taught I can't need. How the hell could you be so irresponsible?
Kungani nendaba ukuthi uhambe nabani?
Tibos ka balela ke tlhokomela rati ke bereka lebenkeleng ke ne le mmereko wa ka mo ntlong Aowa, nka se kgone
Yeah, mohlomongwe wa tšwafa.
I hira motho or ke a tlogela go bereka ko lebenkeleng.
Re be re na le mothuši. Ba re ke Sesbeth. O mo gopola? O mo kubila kere.
I ke tsebe ke tlo feleletša ke dirile phošo ka rati and ke eng ke seo se nyakago.
Okay, mpotša. Who's going to pay for this nanny? Gwen, ka tšhelete ya go tšwa lebenkeleng. Eh? I don't think so. Someone's in a good mood.
That's because I have the best parents in the world.
Yeah?
Aowa, mapele. Maabane bo se nyako kwa selo ka nna. And now, this?
Ke kgopela tshwarelo mo. I love you.
Oh, no. Class ka mathomo just before lunch, so ya ke sana le nako.
Okay, go ka nna.
Oh, ke re botse ntho o tsamaya bjang Charlie?
Awa. O bala gare a ka ona fala go fitlhela Rachel a boa mo maabane.
O e mo tshwanetse.
Nna le Rachel re ile ra ngangišana. Pele ke bona ka re e mo gopišitše.
So that means he's aware of what's happening around him.
Awa di doctor di tloga di šediše gore beko ba gage boa ka ona fala. Ke potšiša gore ke mang a dirileng gore ngwannyane a tsebe gore o phafogile. Ko wena magongwa ke
Be ke sa re ke try go lo bolela nnete.
Alfred o nyaka gore Kunuta a boele morago.
Ke nyaka go bjalo eno ba gore ke kole gore ba re no Rachel o thuntšitšwe kae mo kopane o nyakela tlhokofetše. So e ke mana ke mmotse ke re bona ke ntho e o e diang e tlo dira papa bo bele morago ntho e khoma. Be ke re ke mo tlhalosetsa seo fela.
Magong o tse re tšatši le lengwe ba tlo re bitša gore re tlo šupa stopo sa ngwannyane ole.
Ene se se tla bola Celia.
Le Kunutu. Ke tlo dira bonnete ba gore ngwannyane o ra lokela kgole le yena.
A re lo gole le rena ka mokana rena.
Re ke ke sepele. Ke gopetse moagišane gore a tla go thušege le gore nka se boe ka pele.
All right.
Ke a leboga.
No, I want to try. Right. Warren. Bona man, secretary se boletšeng gore se diragetse magareng ga Mapitsi le
You can say his name.
No, man. O tsaba nna ke nagana gore wena a se o mo terapi fandiwane. Fa bona mfanela gore o tshwantse o mmethile o mo rutele ba bantši ande se a se dirang se o gopela gore o mmušeletše gape.
I just need to make peace le gore I'm going to continue hearing this guy mo sealemoyeng le gore ke tlo kopana le yena mo strateng now and then, so what's one?
Yeah, I mean, re ka se control gore na o diragang kwa Berry FM. E fela Kete ke a choose ya rena. Kete tshwantse a make sure gore wa mo koba ka kwa Capsicum ka kwa a sa tswa beile motho.
Quite monna, that's unfair. Cat or run a business, okay? Well, no, I just wish ke be khona press a delete and all these things just disappear.
Yeah.
It sounds like uyangijudge, uyazi? Enye into, I don't owe anyone an explanation ukuthi kwenzakalani ngempilo yami, eyami.
Akonting zami ukukujaja. Mina mphathi ngifuna ukubona ujabulile ngaso sonke isikhathi. Enye into ke, ayibo, anehlise ekuqabulaneni. Hayi niyaqabulana nini. Umuntu ebathiwa ngena umqabulo ngapha.
What are you doing here?
Umomo njani wena expose kanjani ingane yami to so many different men.
Konje wena ungena apha endabeni zami zomjolo? Ngikhumbuza.
Yazi kade vele ngazi ukuthi uyile nhlobo elusi wena. Lokho nje kuyacaca. Kodwa manje sodluleleke manje. Bengicela ukuthi uzokhumbula ukuthi umama manje.
Sengilusi manje.
Yeah. Wena. Ukuqala kwakusisanda. Wayihisa standard waye kuPeterson. Kwaba unkosi. Wangena ngana amadoda amafishane wena
Yazi ukuthini makuthi usuqedile ukuzongiphaphela ngicela uphume.
Awungitshela uma uqedile ngalonkosi uzoba bani omunye. Ustand lo. La wena.
Yabona uma engapheli into oyenzayo nonkosi uzongazi kahle wena. Ngeke mina expose yami ingane ithi uGulukude efana nabo nkosi.
Uyazi wona uthi uyakhohlwa ukuthi angikusabi. Angikusabi. Ngicela ungiphumelela le hasa ngaze ngibiza amaphoyisa.
Wabize. Ngifuna kona lokho. I'd love to know what Peterson has to say about you jumping from him to unkosi in just 2 minutes. Please, indulge me.
Stanley, ngicela ubize security.
Zongazi kahle wena.
Ungazi kahle wena.
Suka, jwayela kabi.
Kamare, Thobela. I'll excuse myself. Thobela Rangwane.
Ngwana ka. Tsa o lo go tsena tepelo ke botlhoko go bona. Go ke na ro dutse go le benkeleng go o paka dilo ka le benkeleng ka ra lo ruta ga se rutega ngwana.
So Rangwane, at least ke sanle lapa la ka kere. Even though dilo ga di sepile ga botse magareng ga ka le Thibos.
Se ka mfella pelo. Ke monna o tla fetoga tjana.
Ga ke tshepe Rangwane. Hape o ba kwatile kudu ga kwa gore ke thulane le Thomas kwa Capsis ke ne le rati. Yo, it was bad.
O ile dirang Capsis ke rota ga ba deliver batho ba Capsis.
Ga nya ke batho ba tla kwa ntlong. Like o ganne le fence wa fence a tla ntlong.
Mara bo go se mosole. Wa wena se mo findwa nyaka. Ke monna. No, don't do that. Don't do that. Misha go bolela go njalo go ga I go ba pala le go jwala ka ntle ba batho ba ba le betsi ka matlantshotla. Ka lebaka la gago.
Ra ishetse le dikgwedi tse dintsi jwang.
Batho ba mashashane ba botsa batho ba bona bana ba bona gore wena bona role model ba bona go dirile. Wa tsoro o kwa gala le morwa a Betha ba mmotse gore a tsamaye a wishe CCMA gore mo rakile.
Eng?
Yes. Luckily Gloria bolela le yena ene go itse mereko moswa.
Yeah, luckily ka nnete.
Mara go botse something wanaka. Ke sa suggesta go tsamaye o bolela le yena o mogopela tshwarelo.
Ke founetse go nefa go mo leboga go thuša go khwetša mo go nanelwa tshabo. Ke a tshepa gore ba thabile when he heard gore he was denied bail. Marialo o sa tshwenyegile kudu ka gore go na le ba go bua bangwe ba ile gore ba ebela mo ile. Ba jang moise o la tshwanetse gore a re laetse gore syndicate ro khwetša ka. Okay. Babelo wa bona matšhita go swana le outing. Ha bolele. Unless mo tshoshetša. Wa ke re bana bogoibi ba bona o phela bo le ka fasa gatelelo. Re tshwanetse go mo fa setseka. Ge le gore o nagana ra ka iphološa ao o tshwanetse a opele o nepile gotlelele tliša katlego tshaolo babele.
Thobela suspecta ke lekile go le founela e fela go molaleng gore le avoida di-calls jaaka bona ke a kwešiša gore why ke maswabi suspecta gore ke ile ka letlaiša ka tsela ena la tseba le be le tlhokometse bana ba ka ga botse kudu ene le bona ba le go potse ke dimo ka re ba ka tla go le bona suspecta ge e le gore le ka sebe le bothata le seo motlhomongwe next time ge re tla ka mašašane nka tliša yena ratile le pitse gore ba tle ba le bone ke a leboga suspecta ene go lekile.
Hello.
Hi, my boy.
Okay.
Ke sharpo.
Did anyone come today?
Anyone motho wa go tshwana le mang?
Gogo or Rahul? Ke ba go botsa.
Motlhomong bo papa go ba ka ba founela ba ba botse gore ba tle mo go go bona.
Okay.
Okay.
Mapitse.
Yes.
O bua bolela nna.
Ke be ke tlogela se sepeta molaetša ke lekile go ba founela e fela ga se ba araba.
Yeah, well, I'm glad they didn't. Because I'm not looking to hire anyone. Re ile gore wena o nyaka mothushi o tla ba patela ke re. Yeah.
Ya gale jwalo ka ena ya hao ebile ke hlokela insurance maybe wena o na le yona insurance
Ke na le insurance ya outsurance essential ke patala only 423 ka
Thobela.
Oh, Rachel. Ke sa tšo fetša go botša bommane ya go mo ke gore ge bobedi ba lena le ka tšwela pele go bea rangwane ya gago ka tlasa kgatelelo ya monagano ke ile go gapeletša gore ke sa le dumelela go tša go mmona ka ra kwana kere
go banang le sampotša gore o tsogile
ka lebaka la gore be ke nagana gore toronkong Rachel.
o se ka thabiša seo a kere
Se se ka nthabišang ke gore wena o ralokele kgole le monna ka le bana baka.
rangwane le batswala baka ke family e leng gore ke na le yona mo
Ge nke bona le taba le yona family o bolelang ka yona. O botla tlogela matlakala a gago a ditšhila tša mekgwanyane ya gago man.
le nagana gore ke a borata bophelo bo
Ga ke tsebe Rachel. E fela selo se tee fela se ke se tsebang ke gore it's either o tlo felela toronkong goba maoto a na hunyela.
Le ga botse mo.
Awa ke ga botse moshimanyana.
Hello. Okay. Tla le bolela. Ke bokoko.
Lwana ke eng ka re o nyamile so a ka se fare o gopotse bokoko wa o sa thaba.
Aowa itse.
koti o tlhagetšitše kwa lebenkeleng
Lo moshimane wa kokware.
Mma, e fulang ya ka tlabe ke le ka kua kamereng ya ka.
Okay.
Sorry, I didn't get that.
Ya le tla ntshwarela mma. Ke ile ka swanela go kitimela kretšheng ya rati go molata and go bolela nnete go boima go dia dilo tše ka moka ke le teng.
Ke a le mengwaga e 30 ke sepediša lebenkele lele. Ntše ke godiša bana ka thoko. Gore wena o di ba o no tšwafa fela kere. Okay. Okay, Tabla.
O sa le mmerekong. Oh, ke lebetše mma, ke lebetše go le leboga. Oh, ke a leboga ge le kgonne go convince Thibose gore a se ka dumelela go pitse gore a sepele to this Maldives trip le lapa la boluka.
A kere nna e sa die le wena. O nthuše ngwanenyana ko wena. O tlogele ka matšhošetše a gago a gore wena o tla tšea bana wa sepela le bona. Ga go motswadi o mongwe ka godiša go pitse ka tsela e leng gore nna ke mo godišitše ka gona.
like some creep.
Ya, e be ke sa nyaka go tshwenya. Ke a bona gore o ile le menagano.
Go
swere ke tla lotla tshola.
Gobaneng re sa di mmogo ke sana le nako
Wa tlhoke gore nko le botlhoko le
le wena wa bona gore tereka e di ba meleko mothefo
nna go ya ka tsele ke kwang ka gona motho o wes ke gopane motho o fišitše thefe ka moka a dira gore rangwana ka feleletša le ka gare ga kgomo
ya seo ke sa gafe se sengwe le sona
e ka ba go na le seo se tsebang ka yena
ke tshepa gore ga o nagane gore o ka kry-a revenge ko go opana kere ka gore I can give you free advice o ka se wine
no tla be ke le setlaela gore nka lebelana le gopane e seng ke dila le taba tše tša Darika ke no ba ke nyaka go tseba ka botlalo ka yena
Hey, Joe. Look, I'm actually surprised you picked up. I mean, with the 8-hour time difference between South Africa and Singapore. Yeah, of course. I forgot you're a gym freak. Yeah. Yeah, look, to be honest, I'd be lying if I said that I'm okay. Yeah, I just think like coming back to South Africa was a big mistake, man. I should have just, stayed in Singapore and built like a better life for myself, that's it. But how are you doing? Yeah, I miss you too, of course. It's been so long.
Poor single mom fell asleep on a CEO's shoulder in the subway. What happened next shocked everyone. New York City moved as it always did. Fast, loud, relentless. Car horns echoed down tight avenues. Voices clashed on busy sidewalks. And somewhere, below the screech of subway trains cut through the underground hum, in the middle of it all stood Emma Carter. On the corner of a Queens intersection, she clutched a paper bag of leftover pancakes from her double shift at Manny's Diner. Her other hand wrapped protectively around the sticky fingers of her 4-year-old son, Oliver. "Hold tight, baby," she said softly, brushing a golden strand from her damp forehead. Wrinkled uniform, worn sneakers, and tired eyes told a longer story, one of long nights and quiet sacrifices. "I'm hungry," Oliver mumbled, tugging at her hand. "I know, sweetheart. We'll eat these on the train." "Okay, it's almost bedtime," haunted with sleepy reluctance. Emma smiled, kissed his forehead, then pulled out her phone, the screen lighting up with a new message from her aunt. "Emma, your mom's fading fast. You need to come now." Her breath caught. Her mother, Theon person who had always been her safe place, was slipping away. Emma had not seen her in almost 2 years. Life had gotten in the way. Work, bills, survival. Now she might be too late. With trembling fingers, she texted back, "I'm coming, be there soon." Moments later, they were descending into the subway station. Oliver nodding off on her shoulder. Emma juggled the pancake bag, her purse, and his weight as they boarded the fine, finding a quiet car near at the back. It was just past midnight. Only a few scattered passers sat in silence. Emma slid into a corner seat and cradled Oliver on her lap, his small breaths warming her neck. Her back ached, her legs throbbed, but her heart carried the heaviest weight. Of all, station after station passed in a blur. Somewhere near Roosevelt Island, Emma gently laid Oliver on the seat beside her, covering him with her coat. Exhausted beyond reason, she leaned right, and without realizing it, let her head fall against the man seated next to her. She didn't notice him, but he noticed her. Liam Callahan had boarded at Bryant Park, fresh from a late dinner with investors. He wore a tailored navy suit, collarundone tablet in hand, calm, composed, unreadable. When he felt her head rest against his shoulder, he turned just slightly. A woman, young, clearly exhausted, blondie hair messy, and face drawn from fatigue. A child beside her, sleeping soundly. Liam studied her for a moment. Then, gently, he reached into his jacket and pulled out a silk handkerchief, folding it and sliding it between his shoulder and her cheek. He did not move. A cross-car, an older woman, watched with quiet admiration. A student nearby raised his phone, subtly snapping a photo and smiling to himself. No one spoke, but everyone noticed. Liam remained still for the entire ride. As the train neared Queensboro Plaza, Emma stirred. Her eyes fluttered open, and realization struck as she lifted her head. "Oh my gosh," she gasped, sitting up. "I'm so sorry. Didn't mean to." "It's all right," Liam said softly, a faint British lilt in his voice. "You looked like you needed it." Emma flushed, eyes dropping to her lap. "Still, thank you." He smiled, warm but reserved. No harm done. The train came to a screeching halt. Emma quickly gathered her things, scooping Oliver into her arms. Before stepping off, she paused. "Really? Thank you." Liam nodded, steady and calm. As Emma disappeared into the night, she did not know his name or his story. Booch would remember the stillness of that moment, his kindness, his shoulder, the quiet grace of a stranger when the world had grown too heavy, and so would everyone else who had watched it happen. Emma jolted awake as the train came to a stop. Lifting her head abruptly from the stranger's shoulder, I'm so sorry," she stammered wide. "I didn't mean to. I must have dozed off. I'm really sorry." The man turned toward her, his green eyes calm and kind. "You looked exhausted, Hesed. I didn't mind." Emma blinked, surprised. People in this city rarely had patience, especially on the subway, especially at this hour. "It's been a long day," she murmured, brushing hair back into her ponytail. "If figured," he said with a faint smile. She gave a sheepish laugh. "Thanks for not getting mad or waking me up." "You needed the rest more than I needed Thespace," he replied simply. The train screeched as it reached its final stop. Emma shifted, gently lifting her son Oliver into her arms. The boy stayed sound asleep, his small head pressed into her shoulder. "You've got your hands full?" the man observed as he stood. "Yeah," Emma said, trying to cogit to the hospital before visiting ours end. "Family emergency. My mom," she said quietly. "She's not doing well." His expression softened. "I'm sorry." Emma nodded, adjusting her bag over her shoulder. They stepped off the train, into the dimly lit station, the Sidi Bouzidabov, but down here it was quiet, eerily still under flickering lights and the scent of old concrete. The man glanced at her, then spoke, casual, but certain. "I've got a car waiting outside." "Let me give you a ride," Emma turned to him startled. "Oh, I can't. Thank you, but that's I didn't even know you." He met her gaze without flinching. "You're carrying a sleeping kid at midnight after what looks like a long shift. You don't have to do this alone." She hesitated. Everything about her screamed caution. Years of struggle had trained her to expect conditions, catches or consequences. But something in his voice, calm, sincere, eased the tension in her chest. "Okay," she said softly, "but only if it's not out of your way." Outside, a sleek black sedan waited at the curb. The driver opened the door silently, masled into the warm leather seat, Oliver still dozing against her chest. The man followed and settled beside her. She let out a quiet breath. "Like this?" she asked, gesturing at the car. "Most of the time?" "How? What do you do?" He smiled faintly. "Business. A little bit of everything." Vague, but she didn't push. "I'm Emma," she said after a beat. He looked at her more closely now, then extended his hand. "Liam," he shook it, his grip firm, warm, steady. "Oh, Liam, thank you for all of this." He nodded like it was the most natural thing in the world. When they pulled up to the hospital, Emma turned toward him. "I can walk from here." "Really?" "You should stay nearby," he said gently. "It's late." You need rest. Can't afford a hotel, she blurted before she could stop herself. Liam didn't react. He just leaned forward, quietly spoke to the driver, then sat back. Minutes later, the car pulled up to a small, clean hotel block from the hospital. The driver stepped out and returned with a key card. Emma looked at him confused. What did you just do? Booked your room, Liam replied, then handed her a card from his pocket. Emma's eyes dropped to the raised lettering. Liam Callahan, Chief. Executive Officer, Callahan Global Holdings. Her breath hitched. This wasn't just a stranger on the subway. This was that Liam Callahan, billionaire, investor, Forbes cover story. She looked back at him, stunned. You're the Liam Callahan? He nodded calmly. Emma could barely get the words out. But why would someone like you? He cut her off gently. Because tonight you looked like someone who deserved a little grace. She clutched Oliver tighter, the emotion catching in her throat. Voice trembling. On the other end of the line, he was quiet for a beat. Then off course you did? Emma laughed through the tears. Thank you. You did this, Emma. Hesed. Not me. But she knew that was not entirely true because for the first time, a long time, someone had seen her, really seen her, and reminded her Thatch was more than her struggle. And that was the first step toward becoming someone she had almost forgotten she could be. The days began to find a quiet rhythm. Emma still visited her mother, still chased deadlines for Callahan Media, still balanced life as a single mom. But now, woven into the chaos, were moments with Liam. It started with coffee, a text. There's a place near the park, quiet, strong lattes. Want to escape for a bit? Emma hesitated, then said yes. They sat by a window in a quiet cafe. Sometimes they talked, sometimes they didn't. But the silence between them never felt uncomfortable. Liam listened. Rial listened. He looked at her. Like her words mattered, like she mattered. She told him about her mother, reading to her at night after working 3 jobs. How she once dreamed of writing Novel Sander a pen name, too afraid to believe in her real one. Liam shared about his childhood in England, how his parents' silence taught him to grow up fast, about feeling invisible at a boarding school full of sons of powerful men. He did not share everything, but he shared now. A week later, they met again, this time at the park. Oliver ran in dizzy loops around them as Emma and Liam sat on a bench with coffee. He likes you, Emma said, nodding to her son. Liam smiled. He asked if I was a Terexer, a businessman SARS. I told him I'm still figuring it out. Emma laughed, really laughed, and Liam turned to her, smiling back. You know, she said softly, I didn't think people like you existed. He raised an eyebrow. You're rich, calm, still human. He chuckled. The calm's a myth. I've just learned how to hide the chaos. She studied him. Do you hide everything? Used to, he said. Then a tired waitress fell asleep on my shoulder and made hiding feel unnecessary. The silence that followed was full, not awkward. She didn't know what this was becoming, but it felt real, gentle, maybe dangerous in how deeply it pulled at her. As fall deepened, the nights turned colder. One evening after dinner, Liam walked Emma and Oliver home. The boy was fast asleep in his arms by the time they reached the hotel. I can take him, Emma whispered. But Liam shook his head and carried Oliver inside, laying him gently on the bed. He's lucky, Liam said, watching the boy sleep. Why? She asked. To have you, Emma's ice burned. No one ever says that, Mason. He turned toward her. Neither spoke for a moment. Then she asked quietly, Want to stay for tea? Liam smiled. Sure. They sat at the small kitchenette table, fingers wrapped around mismatched mugs. The tea was bitter, but warm. They talked about work, about movies, about mothers. Emma told him about her pregnancy. How scared she had been, how David walked out, how she once cried in a grocery store aisle because she could not afford both diapers and formula. Liam saw nothing. He just reached across the table and placed his hand gently over hers. Not possessive, just steady. Shed it, not pull away. They never. defined what they had. Not love, not dating. Buth texted her good morning every day. She saved his voicemails. He brought Oliver small toys from business trips. She wrote more freely now essays her editor called luminous. They circled each other close enough to feel the heat, unsure if they could survive theft fire. But Emma found herself wondering what? If this wasn't temporary, what if this was real? She did not say it. Neither did he, but neither of them walked away. And for now that was enough. The ballroom shimmered with golden light and whispered elegance. Crystal chandeliers floated above a designer, gowns and tailored tuxedos. Waiters passed flutes of champagne. It was the kind of night where fortunes mingled with fame, and Emma Carter felt wildly out of place till Liam Callan took her hand. Her navy gown, borrowed and understated, contrasted against the opulence. She had never worn anything like it, but Liam looked at her like she was the only one in the room. "You're stunning," he whispered. To believe him. He introduced her simply as Emma. No mention of roles, titles, or pasts, just Emma. And for a moment, it was enough, until a voice sliced through the crowd. "Emma Carter," it said. Smooth, cool, knowing. Emma turned. A woman in Akramson gown stood. Before her, tall, confident, perfect. Vanessa Caldwell. The woman smiled. "I assume Liam hasn't mentioned me." Emma's chest tightened. "No, he hasn't. We were engaged a long time ago, but in many ways he hasn't changed." Emma swallowed. "I see." Vanessa leaned in, her voice low. "Liam doesn't do love. He does power, control, distraction, but not love. Not with girls like you." Before Emma could respond, Vanessa smiled and walked away, a ghost in red silk. Emma stood. Frozen, the rest of the evening blurred. Laughter, handshakes, polite smiles. But Vanessa's words echoed louder than the music. "Girls like you. Not love, not real love." By the time the final toast ended, Emma felt brittle. Liam leaned in. "You okay? I need air." Outside, the city sparkled beneath the stars. Emma gripped the railing, silent. Liam approached. "Emma, what happened?" She turned, eyes guarded. "You didn't tell me about her." "Us." "She said you were engaged." "That I'm just a distraction." His face tightened. "She said you've never loved anyone." He exhaled slowly. "She's not wrong. I was engaged to her." "Yes." "But it was arranged. Convenient. I didn't love her. I didn't love anyone because I didn't let myself." He stepped closer, voice quieter now. "I control everything, Emma. That's how I survived. That's how I built all this. But love, real love, doesn't come with contracts." "And now?" she asked. He met her eyes. "Now. I cancel meetings just to see your smile. I read your articles and feel proud. I hold your son and hope Hemet one day see me as someone worth keeping around." His voice broke slightly. "I didn't know what. Love was soon till you." Emma blinked fast, her heart thudding. "I don't want to control you," Liam added. "I just want to be near you, to be good to you. If I'm not doing that, tell me." Emma didn't speak. She just reached out and took his hand. And in that simple gesture, without words, she forgave him. And finally, quietly, she trusted him. The relationship between Emma and Liam had quietly shifted from possibility to something real. There were no public declarations or social media announcements, nor romantic cliches, just small, intentional moments. Morning kafisa, waiting on her desk. Liam picking Oliver up when she was stuck in meetings. Late night walks after the boy had gone to sleep. It was steady, gentle, and perhaps that was why it felt so real. Liam had never asked to be part of her world. He just showed up over and over, patient, consistent, and Emma for the first time found herself leaning in instead of pulling away. Oliver adored him. At first he had called Liam uncle, but lately he just said Liam with the kind of familiarity children reserve for people who make them feel safe. Liam knew which dinosaur was his favorite. Could draw them on napkins and always remembered the bedtime story halfway through, even when Emma forgot. They were becoming a family quietly, naturally, without even naming it. And then one night after a long shift at Callahan Media, Emma's phone buzzed as she stepped out into the cool spring air. She expected a message from Liam. Instead, the name flashing on the screen made her stomach sink. David, she hadn't heard from her ex in nearly a year since its court had awarded her full custody of Oliver. His sudden reappearance wasn't just unexpected at Wassenaarveen. Emma answered cautiously. David. His voice was clipped cold. Wanted to talk. She stiffened. What about Oliver? He said simply, then with a pause. I've spoken to a lawyer. I'm filing. For joint custody? The words hit like a punch to the chest. What? Emma whispered. You abandoned us? You're not? Stable, David continued, as if he hadn't heard her. You're dating a billionaire now. That's not a safe environment for Occult. I don't think it's healthy. Emma's hand trembled around the phone. You left when I was pregnant. You haven't paid child support. You didn't even send a birthday card. I'm still his father, he said flatly. I think it's time the courts reassess who's really fit to raise him. Then he hung up. Emma stood frozen on the sidewalk, her breath shallow, panic climbing. Fast, she could barely feel her legs. When Liam pulled up a few minutes later, she climbed into the car without a word. Buth saw her hands shaking, waited until they stopped at a red light, then reached over gently and took her hand. Emma, he said softly. What's wrong? She told him about the call, the threat, the fear. When she finished, she looked out the window. I'll deal with it, she said. I always do. But Liam's voice was quiet and firm. Not this time. You rented alone in this anymore. 3 days later, they met David at a coffee shop in Midtown. Emma didn't want Liam to come, but he insisted. You need to know someone's in your corner, he had said. David arrived late, his posture defensive, his tone already combative when he spotted Liam. I don't know why you're here, he said. Liam's voice was calm. Because I care about Emma and about Oliver. And you've made them both my concern, David scoffed. You think money makes you a dad. No, Liam replied. But disappearing doesn't, dude. David's voice rose, accusing Emma of being unstable, of depending on Liam, of endangering their son by being with someone like him. She can't even pay rent without you, he sneered. She has a stable job, Liam said evenly. She's a published writer. Her son is healthy and happy, and she's never once put herself before that boy. Liam slid a folder across the table. Inside were custody records, doctor reports, Oliver's school evaluations, proof of Emma's income, and statements from her employer. You left, Liam added. There's documentation of that, too. David's confidence faltered. He flipped through the papers, his jaw tight. I can't fight you, he muttered bitterly. You've got lawyers, money, influence. You don't need to fight, Liam said. You'll need to decide what's best for your son. David looked up at Emma, then back at Liam. Just don't hurt them, he said, and left, without another word. Emma sat still, heart pounding. Then slowly she looked across the table. You said you love me, she whispered. Liam's ice didn't waver. I do. She swallowed hard. I don't know how to do this, but I want to try. He reached across the table, his hand warm, grounding. We'll figure it out, he said. And for the first time in years, Emma felt something powerful rise in her chest. Not fear, not doubt, but hope. 1 week after a thick confrontation with David, things finally began to settle. No more threatening calls, no court documents. Just mornings, filled with Oliver's laughter, afternoons of writing, and quiet evenings with Liam by her side. For the first time in years, Emma felt something she had forgotten existed. Peace. It wasn't dramatic. It lived in everyday rituals. Tea before bed, preschool pickups, and knowing no one was about to rip the ground out from under her. She had stability, a job. Her writing was being published. The quiet courage of a single mother had gone viral. Strangers emailed her saying she gave them hope. Her name was no longer invisible, and Liam wasn't just a part of her life anymore. He was home. That Friday, Hein invited her and Oliver to his apartment for dinner. No chefs, no staff, just the three of them.
That's 3, wine, laughter.
Emma stood barefoot in the kitchen, helping Liam drain noodles while Oliver zoomed around the living room with toy dinosaurs. "Remind me why I'm cooking for a billionaire again?" she joked. "'Cause I burn everything," he deadpanned. Dinner was messy and real. Juice spilled, bread was overtasted, and yet it was perfect. Later, Liam took her out to the balcony. The skyline sparkled, the city buzzed bellow, but up there everything was still. He turned to her, serious now. "Before I met you," he said, "everything in my life was calculated. But then I met a woman with tired eyes and a sleeping child on a subway. And suddenly, nothing made sense anymore." Emma held her breath. "You and Oliver didn't just enter my life, you gave it meaning. And while I'm not proposing, not yet, I need to ask." He took her hands. "Are you ready to build a life with me?" Tears welled in her eyes. So many memories surged forward, working double shifts, counting change for diapers, crying in silence. And then Liam, the man who stayed, who showed up, who saw her. "Yes," she whispered. I want that." Right then, Oliver appeared, rubbing his eyes. "Water, you guys doing?" Emma bent down, smiling, saying yes to something real-like. Oliver snuggled into their hug. And in that moment, they were not three separate lives. They were a family. 1 year later, the bookstore was cozy, buzzing. With quiet joy, stacks of Emma's debut memoir, The Light After the Tunnel, lined the tables. Subtitled A Mother's Journey Through Fear, Faith, and a Miracle Named Liam. Readers came in waves, hugging her, asking for signatures, whispering how her story changed theirs. Emma sat at the signing table in a soft blue dress, her hands trembling. Slightly, not from fear, but from joy. And just a few feet away, in the front row, sat the people she loved most. Oliver, now 5, beaming in a button-down shirt he insisted made him look professional. And Liam, calm and proud, his arm resting behind the boy scare. After the last book was signed, Emma walked toward them. Oliver ran toward her. "I told my class." "You wrote about us." "I did," she said, kissing his forehead. Then Liam stood, pulling her into a quiet, full-hearted hug. A camera from a local news outlet snapped a photo just as Emma smiled, glowing at peace. She had not just survived. She had rewritten her life. And so Emma found not just peace after the storm, but purpose, love, and a life she never thought possible. And in the twilight of her life, she was no longer just serving. She was living. Sometimes all it takes is one unexpected man, one kind stranger, to change everything. If this story touched your heart, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Soul-Stirring Stories, where we bring you true and fictional tales that heal, inspire, and remind us all of the power of love, resilience, and second chances. Thank you for watching. See you in the next story.